What are some of the things that you walk through in your mind to make decisions?
Yeah, so I write down the things, right? Like there's just a bunch of things, you write them down, and then you put a number on them. And then once you think you've got it, again, this is made so much easier if you have someone to talk to about it. So I tend to get the things up on the screen, and then I show someone like Kirby, or I might just get on Zoom with a customer, like a customer I've got a good relationship with. And I'm like, what do you think's most important? And I ask a bunch of other people. It really helps you shortcut it. Like I swear most people like kill themselves sitting down with problems and not just using other people. It
Feedback.
it really helps, honestly. Um and then that can often help. And then after I get a few different perspectives, one of my favorite perspectives to get is my wife's. So usually I get like my team's perspective, the customer's perspective, a few different customers, then my wife, and then I kind of let it marinate a bit, and it kind of just pops out generally.
Mhm. I think that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's not the go-to thing, right? But it goes back to like who, not how. I don't, maybe you've heard of that concept. Like instead of asking myself, how do I solve this problem, is who do I need to talk to? Who do I need to hire? Or who has already solved that problem that can shortcut it for me? It's not intuitive because we want to go and just like, oh, let me fix it. But
Well,
yeah.
it's also feedback, and I think the biggest thing is getting as much feedback as possible. And we were just talking about that on our last podcast, and we were just talking about the endpoints, where it's like a lot of successful entrepreneurs use that tool more than not successful entrepreneurs, and a lot of people are too afraid to like ask for that kind of support, but also they're afraid to put their ego out there and have it shut down. When in reality, the best entrepreneurs are like, hey, please poke holes in this idea and tell me how I can make it even better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I definitely didn't use it a lot earlier on, but when you make something so big like school that depends on other people, you really live and die based on like how you listen to the feedback. And it's impossible to get right on their first go. So it makes you very good at that process. And I think I've taken that and applied it to everything I do now. So, like, for example, we made a video recently. It hasn't been published yet, but before I would just make a video, wouldn't even really show it to anyone, and then just publish it, right? But now I made the video, and we went around internally with people inside the office until we kind of got it to a point where we were happy. And then we went out and gave it to like, I don't know, 20 customers. And we're like, what do you think? I swear like 60% of them viscerally hated it.
Wow. What video was it? What kind of video was it?
Well, it's not out yet. And you won't see the version they hated. So, um, but I was like, "Oh, that's funny." Your initial reaction is like, "Oh, fuck these guys, man. They don't understand. Like, this is art. This is art."
You putting your
Yeah,
heart
yeah.
out there.
So was it a
Um,
video for people who use school on like how to grow their community,
oh,
or was
okay,
it?
I'll give you some context. It was just like a 1-minute VSL for the schoolers community. We just wanted to kind of make a little hype video of what's inside, right? Um, and then, I showed it to my wife, and she's always like a good litmus test because I kind of liked it. The people at the office kind of liked it, but the 60% of the customers didn't like it. So I was like, okay, it's going to be interesting to show my wife tonight. I show her it, and then she just looks at me and she's like silent. I'm like, fuck. Um,
I was not expecting that at all.
um, and then I was pissed off, and I was like, let's watch a movie. Um, so, but then when I woke up in the morning and went back to it in the morning, I was like, oh, they're right. Like, I know something's wrong with this. So then I tried something very different, but same kind of video, but something very different. The vibe was like way off, I think. And the thing I was trying to do, I thought was funny, wasn't obvious to people. So they just thought it was serious, which anyway. Then we redid it, and then we went back, and then people loved it. Like 95% of the people that hated it loved it. And then my wife liked it again, and I was like, okay, perfect. Like, so just getting that feedback before you go public with something. What really sucks is when you go public with something for real and 60% of people hate it.
Real question: which one did you like more, the first one or the second one? Honestly.
Um, Honestly, the second one.
Okay, fair enough.
It's
'Cause,
really
I can be a bit too, like, artistic sometimes, right? And this isn't just my, like, art. There's a c there's other people that care about this too, right? So, yeah, you can't be too artistic sometimes with things, and that's why I don't like making videos because there's, like, no constraints, honestly. I really love software because of the extreme constraints on it, but, like, a video can go in a million different directions, and I basically wanna make, like, Lord of the Rings every time, um, which is impossible, and so I just, like I yeah, it drives me crazy, honestly.
one of the tools that you talked about for decision making, that you use, I guess, in some situations where it makes sense, is the yes no pick a wheel, which
Yeah,
I think is actually it seems like a joke, but I think it actually makes sense. So can you tell us about that?
sure. So, there's like, a lot of the time, if you can't decide which, like some things are quite trivial, but you still need to make a decision, right? Which thing should I do first? This thing or that thing? If you can't really figure it out, then wheel, spin it, and then just do that one first. Because otherwise you might have sat there and wasted all of this energy, like, trying to think about it, right? Um, or like Claire came to me, who's like our office manager the other day. She was like, "Should I buy another one of these signs? It's like this illuminated school sign thing." And I asked her what for, da da da. And I was like, "What do you think?" And she was like, "Oh, I don't know." And I was like, "Maybe we don't need it." Like, trying to err on the side of minimalism. And then she was like, "Oh, no." And I could tell she kind of wanted it. And then I asked someone else, I asked Kirby, I was like, "What do you think?" He was like, and I was like, "Fuck this, get the wheel out." Spun it, it said yes, and I was like, "Buy it."
Love it.
Great. I think
And it
you
was like a
actually
4 grand sign, so,
Okay.
it's like a 4 grand decision, but there like 3 or 4 people are gonna be involved in this thing. It's just move on, sometimes you need something to just like, I'll give you another example, like, trying to decide on what you should get from, like, Uber Eats with your girlfriend or wife or whatever. You guys done this?
Yeah, so the process.
So your
Horrible.
wife's like, "Oh, let's get some takeaway or Uber Eats, whatever." And I'm like, "Okay, what do you want?" I don't know." Then she's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I don't know." Then I'm like, "Should we get this?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, "Well, fuck." Like, but when you think about it, really, and this can go on for quite some time, right? But really, when you think about it, you probably only go to like 4 places, right? There's probably only 4 places that are good that you like. So why don't you just spin a wheel?
All four places. Dude, there was a
Yeah.
there was a meme, there was a video where the guy found the perfect answer for that. You guys should try it out. It's actually great. You go to your wife or partner or whatever and you say, "I have a surprise for you today. Guess where I'm taking you?" And then she'll start naming things and then be like, "Oh my god, how'd you know? Well, guess what we're gonna do after?" And she'll just keep naming these things, and you're like, "You're just so good. You just know me so well. Now I can't even surprise you." And then you take her exactly where she told you she wanted to go, because that's where her first like feeling of like, "Oh, I really want to get tacos today. I really want to get Japanese." And you're like, "Thank God, not have to worry about this stuff."
feel like you need to get a decisive girlfriend or wife for that first. Like mine would be like, I don't know. But I think the hack that I found is just absolute delusional certainty. When she asks, "What should we get?" It's like, definitely this. This is the best," and you just hype it up. You don't even know what you're talking about, but it rubs off, and they're like, because they're really just looking for certainty.
But what if that's not what you want?
That's see, I always put that second,
Yeah,
and then I
come
have regret later, but I
You're
save
trying to
time.
find the answer.
come on, Sid,
Like,
relax. Right? Like, it's not about us right now, all right? We're trying to figure out what we wanna eat, all right? And we'll be here all
Efficiency.
day.
I think this is one of the things you talked about that was really interesting is, and it may be a good heuristics for making these decisions too. You said that oftentimes people that have communities, oftentimes younger people, they come to you and they go, you know, I think I should do this community because it's this big opportunity and this, and I know I could do it really well, and it's not untapped. But I also, there's this other thing that like, I think I would really like this, and you just ask them, well, which one do you want to do? And then they defend the, oh, but I should do this, I should do that, and then the moment they surrender to being like, I actually just want to do this other thing, there's no sure, there's just like, which one would you like more? And then there's like this relief, and I've had that in my career as well, when I went into content creation and being creative and having fun with the content. um I think it's a good heuristic to just go, which one would be more fun? Like, screw the like ROI, the opportunity, the money, but like, what's more energizing? What's more fun?